Novak Djokovic is the greatest of all time in tennis. He's somebody that is going to prove that without a doubt in the next 5 years, I believe. I know now, it's you can argue Nadal, you can argue Federer, but I think in the next 5 years he's going to prove that he is the greatest of all time. In the recent times, he's made international news for all the wrong reasons. There's been a whole debacle here in Australia. I'm not somebody that follows tennis, closely at all. I do watch Australian Open when it's on. Other than that, it's whatever comes up on my feed that I'll kind of keep up with. I don't watch Wimbledon, US Open, French. I don't watch any of that. Most of my sporting pleasure comes from basketball and soccer. But I've got a friend who's a big fan of the sport, so I get a lot of information from him. And in recent times, because of all the news, I've been kind of watching a lot of his stuff, both in Serbian and also in English. So I've been listening to a lot of these interviews by all these greats who have opinions about who's the greatest and whatnot. One of these fellas was close to him, was a coach of his. I think his name is Becker, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not good with these names. He was his coach, I think, for 3 years or something like this, and he was being interviewed, and he was basically saying that Novak is a very special breed. Every morning he wakes up, he does yoga. It's like his routine. That kind of reminds me of other sports stars, greats, arguably the greatest of all time in their sports. The names that come to my mind are Ronaldo. Ronaldo is a worked product. Somebody like Messi is a God's given gift to football. The man is a magician. He's an absolute stud. Now, I have not heard many stories about Messi getting up and running sand dunes and doing push-ups in gym and all that stuff. That's not his kind of story. His story is that he's a magician. But somebody like Ronaldo, I respect a lot because he works hard at what he has. Not to say that Messi doesn't, but that's not the stories that come out of his camp and the world. He's not a workaholic like Ronaldo. Seems like Djokovic is in the same kind of token. One thing is to become the greatest in your generation, to be number one, to fight all these other guys who are contending. But another thing is to stay at the top for a very long time. That's one of those ingredients that is consistent with greatness. You have to appreciate the hunger. You have to appreciate the drive. What keeps these guys going? Think about it. They have everything. Absolutely everything. And a lot of the guys that I've seen, that I've followed, they get to the top and they just let it go. The hunger's not there. So there needs to be something deep within them. This guy gets up every morning, does yoga every single morning. Amongst all the other stuff. Like, he doesn't have to do that, right? He can just work on his tennis. He's a gift, blah, 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 blah. He can play all these different shots. But his daily routine lends him to this. Another guy that is close to my kind of eyes is LeBron. LeBron is another one of those guys that's just been at the top forever. Forever. He came into the league, an absolute specimen. He's now 37 years old, I think he is. 37 years old. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. And he's killing it. He's absolutely killing it. His work in the gym is relentless. He's always the fittest guy. Always the fittest guy. And he's been training like a madman for many, many, many years. So somebody like these people, I know you're going to say, oh, they've got everything. But I would argue that these people have many, many things going on in their life. They have many responsibilities. They have these foundations. They have these requirements and all that sort of stuff. I'm not saying that they are necessarily busier than somebody that does a 9 to 5. But what I'm saying is, you don't have to do a yoga for 5 hours. You don't have to go to the gym for 5 hours. This morning I did an hour session. It's enough. But make sure you do it every single day. None of us are going to be Djokovic. Likely. It's unlikely that some of us are going to turn out to be Djokovic or LeBron or Ronaldo. But if you don't do any of the work, you're not even going to be a toenail of those guys. So when you guys always ask me, like, what keeps you going, man? I consume a lot of this stuff. That I'm talking about. I listen to interviews. I listen to interviews by the greats of basketball, soccer, and I hear these stories, man, of these guys just working like maniacs. Now, in my mind, in my heart, I always wanted to be like those guys. I always wanted to be the hardest working guy. So just because I'm not one of those guys, I'm not the best soccer player in the world, the best basketball player, the best tennis player in the world, doesn't mean that I can't work really hard. You can still work really, really hard and no one knows about you. You can still do it in your freaking bedroom, in your garage, in your backyard, in your front yard, wherever the hell you are. You can still put the work in. So this idea that I'm only going to do work really hard if somebody pays me, or if I get the fame, or if I get this or that or the other. Why can't you do it for yourself, man? So it goes to show me that if you don't want to do it for yourself, you're going to be like the other 99% of the guys who get to the top. If you were ever to get to the top, you would just let it go. Because you've got everything you need. You're done. I think if Djokovic never made it to the top, I think, same as Ronaldo and same as LeBron, I think these guys would still be fit. They would still be fit regardless of the fame and the fortune. I think those are these guys. I'm sure there's many of us in the world who no one knows anything about, and they're fit. We're fit. I think that's cool. Sometimes I go down in shopping aisles, or I go wherever the hell I go. Sometimes in the hospital, like, you bump into someone and, they're not freaking butt naked, man, but you can see they train, the way their posture is, the way they walk, the way they turn themselves. You can see that this lady or this guy, they train. And that's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. And, somebody that trains a lot like me, I will see other people and I'm like, okay, man, that guy walks like he's never squatted in his life, man. He's got buck knees. He's got slouched shoulders. He looks like a weak piece of crap. I can just tell somebody's strength level by looking at them. If they can't even hold their freaking posture erect, if you can't, resist gravity when you're freaking walking, what are the chances of you resisting gravity when you've got a barbell in your hand or on your back? That's what it is, man. So somebody, just looking at somebody from my eyes, looking at somebody, I'm just like, you're this strong probably, And one of the skills that we have as emergency nurses is, our number one skill, I would say, is assessment. Our number one skill is to assess patients, and if we see something that's really wrong, we get help. That's the number one skill of a resus nurse, especially at triage. That's one of the skills of emergency nurses. Somebody walks in from the door to the counter, I can already see what's up. You can tell a lot of things. Somebody can say to me, come up to the counter and be like, I've got 10 out of 10 pain. Yet on the way in from the door to the counter, he was playing Snake on the damn phone. That guy ain't in pain. You can tell me, I've got 100 out of 10 pain. I'll just put in, patient says 10 out of 10 pain, looks comfortable. Done. That's what I would write on the thing. Because if I put 10 out of 10 and somebody reads it who's from an office upstairs, it's like, oh, there's a guy with 10 out of 10 pain. Yeah, he's on the phone to like 50 bros and he's playing Snake and he's playing Candy Crush or whatever the hell the games are on these phones anymore, man. So assessment. So when I see somebody who's training, who's an athlete, I see that, man. When I see Djokovic slide into a damn split on the backhand and return that thing cross court and beat the guy, that shit didn't happen overnight, man. He does yoga. He's comfortable in those end ranges of motion. So much so that he's actually strong in that freaking split position. You put me in a split position, you're going to have to sew me up from my heel all the way to my freaking hip. I'd rip everywhere. But this guy not only has the length, but he has the strength. That's one of the greatest things about Djokovic, man, his defense. His defense is incredible. I've watched this guy play for many years now at the Australian Open. And he's won like 9 of them, man, right? He's basically dominated as long as freaking LeBron has. I'm watching this guy, man, like he gets to these balls for like 4 or 5 balls in a row in a rally. And he keeps getting them back. And I'm like, God damn. And each shot, I'm like, nah, he's done. He gets it back. He gets back. The dude that's on the other end, I was going to say the fence, the other end of the net, he's thinking to himself, man, I can't hit this ball anymore. I'm freaking over this. It's a psychological thing, man. The guy does not give up, and his defense, his physical ability allows him to play this crazy defense. And he works on it every day. When I heard that he gets up and does yoga every single day, I was like, respect, man. Respect. He's at the top. 20 grand slams, and he still does yoga every single day. And I would bet when he retires one day, he's still going to do yoga. He's still going to be fit. I don't think you're going to see Djokovic a fat couch potato. I don't think you can ever see Djokovic be that. I might be wrong. I might be wrong about LeBron. Ronaldo, but I think these guys are just wired differently, and they want to be the fittest wherever they are. If he goes to a freaking birthday party, he wants to be the best physique there. I think these are the kind of characters we're dealing with. Wherever they enter, they want to be the best in the room, or near the best. This is what separates these guys. It's in the mentality. It's the mentality. Every single day, one step further. This is what drives me. This is one of the elements that I think about. So when I have free time, I don't look up, people that don't interest me. I look at people that I look up to. These are the people that I look up to. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. When you're rushing to get to work in the morning, you end up messing up your editing. So I didn't finish the editing, the thank you screens. I didn't finish before I started the voiceover, so I didn't have anything to read off. So I didn't forget. I just didn't have anything to read from. Jesse Luna, thank you so much for your support. I know it was a quick turnaround from yesterday's video to this morning's video, but I time management, man, gotta get it all in. So thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate it, matey. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.